Hi everybody, Mr. Shirk here today with a bit of an unusual video. You can kind of see what I can see today, but that's because today we're going to practice drawing some musical notes. You may recall last week Mr. Myers showed us how to clap and tap and read some patterns, and so today we're going to take a look at how to draw some patterns and notes from that lesson. So the first thing we've got to do before we can start drawing even is we've got to get our supplies. So you can see here I've got some paper. I've got plain white paper, which you might want to have at least one plain paper for your final project. We're going to do a bit of a fall picture at the end. But you can use scrap paper. This one already has some things. You can use some scrap paper if you want for practicing. You can use lined paper if that's what you've got. Really anything will work as long as you've got some paper and then something to write with. So I have some pens because that's what I had handy, but you might have a pencil close by, or maybe a crayon. You might want to grab some crayons later on for coloring as well. So something to write with, something to color with, and some paper as well. So if you need to go and grab those things, that's fine, that's okay. Go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to count down from 5 so you have time to pause, go and grab your things, and then come back to do the rest. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So hopefully you're back with your materials and ready to go, and we're going to get started. So last week, Mr. Myers, as we've already discussed, he took us through reading and clapping some musical patterns. And in those patterns, he was using two kinds of symbols that you saw on the board behind him. And I think he already showed you a little bit about this, but here we go. So we had two kinds of symbols. The first one was called Ta. So let's write Ta, T-A. Here we can see the Ta there a little bit better. And then underneath TA, we're going to draw a line that goes straight down and stop. And that is how we draw a Ta. It's just a straight line going down. The other kind of note that Mr. Myers was using was a Tati. So that's T-A-T-I. And then to draw that one, we do two lines that go straight down. But then we connect them at the top with the beam, so it looks like that. So hopefully you've drawn those practice ones. If you want to, let's practice one more time. So Ta is a straight one going down, and Tati is two straight lines going down that are joined up at the top. Now we still haven't talked about the names for these notes. We usually say Ta and Tati, but these notes also have their official music name. So the official music name for Ta is a quarter note, and the official name for Tati are eighth notes. And if you can't necessarily remember those two names, that's okay. We'll keep reminding you and practicing. The most important thing to remember is at the top, the Ta and the Tati, how to read the notes, okay? So last week, if you remember, Mr. Myers drew patterns just like the one kind of that we have here. It had 4 symbols in each of his patterns. So we can go ahead, we can practice reading this one. It would say Ta, Tati, Ta, Tati. So what we're going to do today, our next step, if you will, is to try to draw our own patterns of 4 symbols. So not just this same combination that we have up here from me, but making up our own different ones. So again, the key is we're drawing 4 symbols. So actually, why don't we write that down here? Let's draw the number 4, because we're going to draw 4 musical symbols, and then we're going to make up whatever you like. So draw one symbol first, whatever you like. I'm going to draw a Tati. For the next one, you can pick whatever you like. Maybe another Tati. I put another Ta, but you could put a Tati. And then our third choice Again, I'm going to choose a Tati, but you can choose whatever you want, whichever one you want. And then the fourth choice. So once you have 4, remember that's our key number, is a combination of 4, then you are done. So we can now practice this one. So you can practice your own pattern, or if you like, you can practice mine. Mine says ta-ti-ta, ta-ti-ta. So at this point, if you'd like to, you can be creative. You see I still have some space on my paper, so you can be creative and make up some more 4-note patterns on your paper to practice drawing. So let's do another one. Remember, it's 4 symbols in our pattern. Let's just try another one here. You can go ahead and make up your own. And then if you want to, on the back of your paper, mine doesn't really work because mine came through, but if you have the back of your paper, you can go ahead and practice drawing some more on the back. Or I'm just going to grab a scrap paper here and I'm going to draw one more pattern. And again, I'm going to count to make sure it has 4 symbols. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So once you've practiced drawing a few, and once you have a few different patterns ready to go, what you'll want to do is choose your favorite pattern, because we're going to use your favorite pattern to draw an extra special musical picture for the lesson today. So I'm going to choose this one over here. That one's going to be my favorite, so I'm going to draw a circle around that one. It's my favorite one, and I'm going to keep that one handy, ready to go. Okay? But now it's time to get our fresh, clean, final project paper ready to go, because we're going to get started on our final project. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to take our pattern, our favorite musical pattern, and we're going to turn it into a turkey drawing that might look something like this one. So this is a sneak peek at my turkey drawing. You can see I have my musical pattern here in the middle of my turkey. But what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to draw these turkeys and put your musical patterns in the turkey. So if you have your blank paper, you want to have it nice and flat. I'm going to use my pen for this part, because what we're going to do is trace our hand. You can trace either hand, right or left, but I'm going to trace my left hand because I'm right-handed. So you want to put your hand right in the middle of the paper so that you have all your fingers spaced a little bit apart, so they make the turkey feathers, and then you have the turkey head over here with your thumb. So you want to start right here at your wrist. You can see I'm not starting way back at my arm. I'm starting right at my wrist, and I'm going up and around my fingers, and down, and up, and down, and up, and down, and last finger, and then my thumb, and then I'm going to stop when I get to the bottom of my thumb, so that when I lift my hand off, it looks like this. All right? If you need some help from a grown-up, that's okay. If you do need some help from a grown-up, just ask for help. You know, don't forget to ask. Don't assume that the grown-ups will know to help. You just ask, and they probably will help you. So once we've got our hand looking like this, we want to close up the bottom of our turkey by drawing a line there to close it up. And you can see mine's not quite perfect, so it's okay if yours isn't quite perfect either. We're going to make some art here. So now we have our hand drawing, and now we need to turn it into a turkey. Okay, so what do? Well, we need to add an eyeball over here on the thumb part. You can see my eyeball. And then we're going to add a beak on the turkey as well, and then a line kind of through the center to show his mouth. And then turkeys have beards. If you have ever seen a turkey up close, a big, turkey gobbler, they have these little beards that hang off of their necks in the front. So you can give your turkey a little beard there. And then don't forget also, he's going to need some legs to hold him up at the bottom. So there we go. My turkey's got some legs. So he looks a little bit silly, but there is my turkey. All right. So now we have two choices for our turkeys. We're going to take our musical pattern and add it to our turkey. So are you ready? Here we go. We have two choices. Choice number one is what I did on this one, where I drew my musical notes in the middle of the turkey, and then I wrote the pattern underneath. So here you go. You can see I wrote the notes, and then I wrote the pattern underneath. Ta, 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 ti, ta. Or the other way you can do it, if you have large enough finger spaces to draw them in the fingers, you could draw your notes in the fingers and have ta, 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 ti, ta. And you can draw them in the fingers instead. And then I wrote the pattern underneath, so you can see that's what that way looks like. So either way, once you have your turkey drawn and you have your notes in the center, you can go ahead and use your crayons to decorate. I made mine kind of silly with fall colors, with the turkey being kind of brown. I left space around my notes so I could still see them clearly, so I didn't color through my notes. If you do, that's okay. If you want to color underneath your notes, just make sure they're nice and clear like these so that you can still see them. You can draw grass underneath, and of course make sure you sign your name on it on your artwork when you're finished, right? And then, like I mentioned, when you're finished with your turkey and you have it all the way finished, you can show it to the grown-ups at home. You can, if you have a grown-up that can help you, you could take a picture of it and send it in to your classroom teacher or to your music teacher on Google Classroom. Or you could just, hang it on your fridge and show it to all of the folks who come to visit in the next couple of weeks. So there we have our turkey with our rhythm patterns and our notes. I hope you enjoyed drawing with me today, and we'll see you again next time.